Black women, can I ask you something? When was the last time that you did something just for you? Not because someone needed you, not because it was on your to-do list, not because you were trying to hold something or somebody together. When was the last time that you did something that was solely and explicitly for you? I want you to sit with that for a second because I want to talk to you today about something a lot of us don't really have the language for, especially when we're in the middle of the thing. We have the language on the back end. But I know somebody out there who's going to come across this video is still in the thick of it and may not know how to name it. And so I want to talk about what happens when you have given absolutely everything to your job, to your family, to your community, to the organizations that you are part of. And then you look up and realize you don't have nothing left. If in just this moment, you don't feel like you have anything left to give. Because what we know is that you're not lazy. With all the places and the spaces that you occupy, with all the people that you support, we know that you're not lazy. And we know that you damn sure ain't weak if you're holding and carrying all of that, right? And if you're anything like my clients, I have to let you know that you're also not ungrateful. Because sometimes what they struggle with is feeling a lack of gratitude for the life that they have or the life that they prayed for. And they don't want God to think that they are taking for granted the blessings that he has bestowed upon them. Right? So they battle this guilt, this ungratefulness, right? So I need you to know that you are not ungrateful. What you are is burned out. Did anybody just hear that and then said to themselves, oh, that makes sense. That is exactly what I'm feeling. And healing from burnout is not about bouncing back. So we're going to talk about that today. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How do we heal from burnout? Whether we are on the back end of it and we still trying to get our footing, or we're in the thick of it and we're like, I no longer want to feel this way. What do I need? What are the steps that I need to take to get out of here? Because if you've been exhausted in a way that sleep just cannot fix, if you feel like you've been going through the motions and you're wondering where you went, you feel like you're showing up every day, but there's still a piece of you that doesn't feel like, I don't really know where I am. Where did I go? The me in this, not the mommy, not the wife, not the teacher, not all the roles that you play. Then if that's how you are feeling, have been feeling, I want you to stay with me. And if you're new to me, my name is Dr. Sherelle MacArthur, otherwise and better known as Dr. Mac. Yes, I do have a verifiable doctorate and I am a certified wellness and life coach. I am also an associate professor, an educational researcher, a speaker, an author, a mommy. And just like you, sis, I am in transition. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about today is born out of my own experience. And it's also born out of my experiences coaching Black women. Now, a few years ago, I pulled up to my house and I just could not get out of my car. I could not get out of my car. I could not get out of my car. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know plenty of people pull up to their house and you just don't have the energy. It's not like the song is captivating you on the radio. That ain't it. We're not always even on the phone call. We just pull up and there's something about maybe the responsibilities when we enter the house. We already had a long day and it's just going to keep going when I get in there. I'm responsible for dinner. I've got to clean up. I've got to do the laundry. Sometimes you're just tired, right? And so a few years ago, I had pulled up to the house and I just couldn't get out of the car. And in that particular reflection on that day, I just felt like, man, I feel like, God, I have done everything right. I had 3 degrees. I'm raising a beautiful, beautiful child. I'm showing up for those that I love. I was performing excellence in a way. Now I'm dope. But I was checking the boxes. I was doing what my parents had taught me to do. I had followed the prescription for the American dream, right? And so I sat in that car and I was just thinking to myself, I don't even know what I want for dinner. Not only do I not know what I want for dinner, I don't even want to have to think about what I want for dinner. And more importantly, than dinner, I started to feel like, I wasn't even certain if life felt fulfilling for me anymore. Bachelor's, master's, doctorate, baby, world travels, sorority, friendships, networking, having a mentor, being a mentor, publications, promotion. I had checked all these boxes and I was sitting looking at it like, is this even fulfilling to me anymore? Do I even care about this? Do I even care about this? Never my child, right? It's never a thought to abandon my motherhood for me. But now I've done all this work to get to this particular place in my career and my life. And I'm like, I wasn't sad. I just felt empty. And I think that's one of the things about burnout is that it doesn't always look like a breakdown. It doesn't always look like crying. It doesn't always look like the inability to get out of the bed. Sometimes you just feel numb. Anybody ever felt that way? Sometimes instead of slowing down, you speed things up. You go get another certification. You go get another degree. Somebody is putting in an application to start an online program this summer in the fall. Baby, stop. Let's get to the end of this video and see if you still want to be in that program. Okay? We join another committee, another ministry, another organization, thinking that maybe if I do more, I can get to the other side faster, right? Or maybe I'll be working even more in my purpose. I don't know. It's like you honestly don't know what to do, so you try a little bit of everything or nothing at all, right? Sometimes it looks like being the most on person, even while it feels like everything on the inside of you is shutting down. Initially, or especially on that day, when I sat in that car and I just couldn't move, and I'm like, do I even care about this issue anymore, right? Do I even care? Who cares that I've been cited 1,200 times? Do I even care anymore, right? I just knew that I had given so much and I felt like I needed to be given to, maybe, or like I had extended myself in so many ways and I wasn't really for sure where I was or what was meant for me anymore. If this is resonating, if this is making sense, let me know that I'm not alone in the comments. Okay, so today I actually want to first talk about what burnout is, and then I want to give you the strategies on how to heal through, process through burnout. And I think that it's important to start with a definition because we use a variety of psychoeducation, therapeutic words all the time, and sometimes we can misuse them, right? But burnout is a state of chronic stress that leads to physical and emotional exhaustion. It can lead to cynicism and detachment and a sense of ineffectiveness. It's a feeling like nothing you do matters or is ever enough. Some spaces recognize burnout as an occupational occurrence, right? Like burnout is something that happens at or because of work. But we know that you can be burnt out outside of work. For Black women specifically, burnout. Sometimes we burn it up, especially if you in Perry. Burnout for us doesn't always look textbook because we know that those textbooks weren't created with us in mind anyway. So here's what I want you to hear. Black women, we are disproportionately burned out. And it's not our fault, okay? Now, we've heard of the strong Black woman. We've heard of, being superwoman, but I want to throw a new one at you today because I've talked a lot about the strong Black woman, and I'm going to come back and talk about the strong Black woman again because we've got to divorce ourselves from that trope. But today I'm going to throw a different one at you, a little imagery, and talk about briefly John Henryism, right? You know, the folklore of John Henry, and he swung his hammer and he was supposed to have competed against, it's folklore. He was supposed to have competed against, a machine on the railroad track, banging at the steel with his hammer and won, and he beat the machine. That John Henryism is the tendency to cope with systematic stress through high effort, through high achievement, through high determination, through success, through climbing the ladder, the corporate ladder. We have been socialized by our families, by our communities, by a world that has never gave a damn about Black women resting or being well. Let's be very clear. We have been conditioned and socialized to push, to persevere, to keep going, to prove. And it's that strength, it's that hammering down continuously. I'm going to beat the machine. That, especially when we do not have an outlet, especially when there is no rest, especially when there is no reciprocity, especially when there is no support, that becomes the very thing that breaks us down. Because burnout in Black women can show up as chronic fatigue. Woo, that doesn't even go away when you get rest. You're like, I'm getting enough rest. I'm sleeping enough. I'm going to bed. I'm not waking up in the night, but I can't shake this feeling of tired. That's chronic fatigue, right? And then there's also emotional numbness. It's when you feel disconnected from the things and the people that you love. You're just kind of going with the motions. You know that feeling? Okay. There's also hypervigilance. And I spoke a lot about this a little while ago. It's always waiting for something to go wrong. It's waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's checking and rechecking to be sure, because I just feel like something's going to go wrong. It's that anxiety. It's that angst. It's that hypervigilance. I'm not just going to be vigilant and stay on top of this task, stay on top of my family, stay on top of my job. I'm going to be hyper vigilant. I'm going to do even more than is necessary because I'm waiting for something to go wrong. And then there's resentment. Have you ever just started to resent your job? Have you ever started to resent your partner? Have you ever started to resent the relationships in your life? Sometimes, realistically, when we are experiencing burnout, we start to resent ourselves. If I had made this decision, if I had gone to this school, if I had not gotten into this relationship, if I had chosen that relationship, if we start to resent ourselves for the decisions we made or we did not make. Then there's also the physical symptoms. You're just like, I don't even get headaches. Why do I have headaches all of a sudden? The dis-ease that starts to happen in our body, the disruption of sleep. Either we can't get to sleep at night, or we wake up in the middle of the night, or you're so tired through the day, and as soon as you get in the bed, you up. Now you just doom scroll. It is 2 a.m. You're like, I've been tired since 6:30 p.m. Why am I still up at 2? Anybody experience this? And all of that physical changes, that start to go to the body. Now we gaining weight. Now the cortisol is thick and the stomach is getting juicier. Okay. Listen, it's a whole thing. And then lastly, another way that we experience burnout, one of the symptoms of burnout, is our own confusion in our identity. This is something that I have been speaking about a lot recently. So again, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, if I'm new to you, go check those out, okay? Subscribe, follow me so you can see what I'm putting out. But this identity confusion is not knowing who you are outside of what you do. If I ask you, who are you? And you just begin to tell me that you're a mother or a wife or a manager, that's what you do. These are the roles that you employ. But who are you really? The number of clients, and remember, I'm a wellness and life coach for Black women. The number of clients that when we start getting into this identity work, and I say, okay, tell me, who are you? Who just like sit back, and they start telling me what they do. And then I said, no. I know what you do. I'm not asking about the roles. I'm asking, who are you? And it takes so much pause because it's a question that they haven't actually had to sit with in a very long time. The more that you add to your plate, for some people, for some women, the less they know and understand who they are anymore, because I have all of these things that I'm focused on that have my attention, and I don't have enough time and attention for myself. Or that's what we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves that we don't have enough time for us. And here's what makes it more layered for Black women. We have been trained to perform being well, particularly when we're unwell. We have been trained to say, I'm fine. How many times somebody say, "Ooh, girl, how you doing today?" You like, "I'm good," knowing you were just breaking down, knowing it was a sleepless, tear-filled night. You are not fine. But it's so easy. It's a performance of wellness. It's a performance of well-being. You know what I stopped doing that. I stopped saying I'm fine. For the last, I'd like to say 2-3 years, when somebody asks me how I am, I actually give the answer. "Sherelle, how you doing today?" "I am a little bit tired." I'm going to be honest, because I'm choosing. It's not about being honest with them. It's not about telling them all the time how I feel. It's not about the other person at all. It's about being honest with me. It's about not lying to me. And if I'm saying multiple days and days, I'm tired. Now I got some decisions to make. Is this, I'm not getting enough rest? Is this a concern for my primary care physician? I have a underactive thyroid. And so is my thyroid out of whack? Is this a conversation with my therapist? "Hey man, I'm recognizing that I'm experiencing fatigue. Do you think I'm stressed? Have I been kind of sharing that I'm stressed? Am I anxious and depressed right now?" Then it allows me to be more aware of me. I've gotten out of saying I'm fine, I'm well, I'm good, when I'm not. So now the last few months, when people say, "Sherelle, how you doing?" All is well, because it is. And at the point that it's not any longer, I will say that, okay? So that's important. I want you to start being honest with yourself, okay? Burnout is not a character flaw. We take it as a personal attack if we say that we are burned out. It's like, if I don't say that I'm anxious or depressed or burned out, then maybe it's not true. Words have power. Words do have power. And mental health is still mental health. And how we are coping with life is how we're coping with life. Two things can exist at the same time. It can be both and not either or. Okay? So I really want us to sit with naming how we actually feel. How we actually feel. Because once I was able to say it, then I didn't sit in my car as long or as often. Because remember, this started with me really thinking like, man, I can't get out this car. And once I came to the understanding that you are burned out, then I didn't sit in that car as long. I didn't stay in that car every day. Then I was like, okay, I can get out. Because I'm going to put some strategies in place. And that's what I want to give you right now. I'm going to give you some strategies, okay? Here's strategies. I've done it with myself. I do it with my clients. Here's a little coaching session for you. Because I want you to be in the process of healing. Not just coping or managing or masking, but working on recovering and finding your way back to yourself. As a wellness and life coach, as a Black woman, I am also maneuvering these institutions. I'm maneuvering these systems. I'm maneuvering these structures in these disunited states. I am still a mother. I still am on the dating field. I, just like you, am working through transition. I, just like you, am becoming. I don't have it all together. Yes, I'm degreed. I'm certified. I coach. That doesn't mean that I have all the answers. And so part of Black Women Becoming is my effort to ensure that we're becoming together. We're getting stronger together. We're better together. And to let you know, whoever you are, that you're never alone. You're never alone. The things that I have said that have resonated with you let you know that you aren't alone in the experiences that you have. Okay. Y'all like, "Dr. Meg, let's get to these strategies, girl. I got my pencil ready. Let's write it down." Okay. Number 1, stop trying to bounce back. Stop trying to bounce back. Juvie had a song, I'm about to bounce back. That's for the folks who, for the 99 in the 2000s. If you know Juvenile's music. Okay. Because bouncing back implies, that's my over 40. It's because bouncing back implies that you return to the same state or version of yourself, okay? Because I don't have a ball around here. If I had a ball in my hand, that's what this is supposed to symbolize right now. If I had a ball in my hand and I'm bouncing it and catching it, where's that ball going? It's coming exactly back to my hand. It's coming back to the place it started. It starts here, I bounce it down, it bounces on the ground, it comes back to my hand. Or if I'm throwing it against the wall, right, and I'm catching it, what's happening? It's hitting the wall, it's returning to me, I'm catching it, I'm doing it again. That's what to bounce back symbolizes, that you're returning to the same state or version of yourself. And maybe you won't be. Maybe you won't be returning to the same version of yourself. It's important for you to ask, for those who are writing down, it's important for you to ask, what was I doing that was unsustainable in the first place? Because you were bouncing your ball and it was dropping and laying flat. That's when you knew burnout was happening. Or maybe now in this conversation, you listening to me is how you're understanding that burnout is happening. You had your ball, you are your ball. You used to doing this, but now you dropping and it's just kind of rolling on the ground. You're like, what's that? This ball needs more to be inflated. Yeah, you need to be inflated. So something that you're doing is not sustainable. Recovery begins when you stop trying to restore the old normal and accept that a new normal may be happening. That's one. Stop trying to bounce back. 2, rest. Jesus Christ. Black women, rest is not a reward. Rest is not a reward. You do not have to earn your rest. Rest is not what you get when everything else is done, because everything for us is never done. It's never all done. There is always something. Grandparents used to say, if it ain't one thing, it's 55. Because it is. So if you're waiting for everything to be done before you rest, when will you rest? Rest is biological, it's spiritual, it's physical, yes, it's mental, it's emotional, it's a necessity in every single one of those places. And it's okay to start small if you have to. 10 minutes of stillness, a full night of rest that you protect. Even if it's one night. I know I got to take the kids here and there, and he got baseball and gymnastics and but on Thursday night, I shut it all down. I say, leave me be, and I get a good night's rest. Even if that's the starting point. Do I only want you to get a good night's rest one day a week? Absolutely not. But sometimes we need a starting point. So get a full night's rest. Have 10 minutes of stillness. Stillness. I could catch my grandma in the kitchen sometime, lights out. She ain't saying nothing. She ain't doing nothing. I say, Grandma, what you in here doing? She say, I'm being still. See, the old folk know. Just a few moments of stillness. A slow morning that has no agenda, right? Rest is how you, or how your nervous system actually begins to repair, to recover, to reset from the normal that it has been under, right? New normal. That's 2. Understanding that rest is not a reward. Number 3, you're going to have to audit your energy, not just your time. Audit your energy, not just your time. We as in wellness and life coaches and those the therapists, counselors, those who support mental health, we talk a lot about time management. But burnout is less about how we spend our time and about what costs us and what restores us, what takes away from us and what gives to us. I want you to start noticing after you leave certain spaces, places, people, commitments, do you feel depleted or do you feel fulfilled? That information right there, does this place fill me or deplete me? Does this relationship fill me or deplete me? That information is crucial because once I have those answers, it can change what I say yes to. It can change what I say no to. Baby, once you have those answers, does this space, place, people, person, organization, institution, committee, ministry, does it fill me or does it deplete me? Because if it depletes me, this changes when and how often I say yes to more of this, more of being in this space, more to interacting with this person. Okay, that's 3. Audit your energy, not just your time. 4, reconnect with who you are outside of your roles. One of the deepest wounds of burnout is identity loss. Remember when I was going through those symptoms of it and I said that identity confusion? Yes, this is part of where we are stymied or we have a hurdle, an obstacle, a block, because we lose this sense of self. Now, I've been talking about that in the last several videos. Again, if you are new to me, go check what I got out, okay? Or save them in your watch later or your playlist. Play me in the morning on your way to work. We become so identified with what we do that we forget who we are. What do you enjoy that has nothing to do with being productive? What made you feel alive before the world told you to be useful? What brought you joy before the kids or before the relationship or before you made it to the C-suite or the managerial position or the assistant principalship or the head cashier or what brought you joy? Reconnecting to those things, even in small doses, is how you begin to come home to yourself. And listen, I don't care how juvenile it may feel. Now, Juvie done came up a couple of times in this video. I don't care how juvenile it may feel. If you enjoy hula hooping, go grab a hula hoop. If you enjoy going roller skating, if you in Atlanta, get to Cascade. Get to a roller skating rink. If you enjoy walking, go walk. If you enjoy baking, bake. What did you enjoy? Let's get back to ourselves. Number 5, this is the last one, and this might be the hardest one. If you thought identity was hard, this 5th one might be the hardest one, and that is let yourself be healed, sis. Let yourself be healed. We are so practiced at being the ones who hold everyone else. But healing requires community. It requires therapy. It requires coaching. It requires a friend that can sit with you in the hard. You were not meant to carry this alone. And trying to do so is part of what got you here burnt out. Receiving support is not weak. This is one of the toughest points I try to press upon my clients. Let the folks who love you love you. Any one of my clients has for sure heard me say that to them before. Let the folks who love you in the ways you need to be loved when you need it, and those needs are allowed to change over time. Excuse me. So before I go, I want to leave you with 3 questions that I want you to sit with this week. As a coach, I do give love work, which is homework rooted in love. You do not have to come back and share this information with me. You don't have to DM me your answers. I'm going to give you a star for just showing up to the video. But if you want more, if you need more, then I tend to end my videos with reflections, journal prompts, ways for you to be more introspective, do the shadow work, the inner healing, all of those words you hear, that's what we do with this love work. Okay, question 1. When did you first realize you were burned out? And then what did you do with that knowing? Did you stop? Did you slow down? Did you speed up? Did you get a therapist? Do you lay in bed? When did you realize it? And then what did you do once you noticed it? And even if you realize in this video, now the next thing is, and what I did was I wrote down her homework in my journal and I tuned into her other videos. Okay, question 2. What were the warning signs that you were ignoring? And what were you afraid of happening if you stopped? You saw the signs. There were definitely signs there. So what were they? And then now that we know that you saw the signs, why didn't you stop when you saw them? 3, last question. What are boundaries or lifestyle shifts, even small ones, that you can do to start to heal, to start to recover, to start to come back home to yourself? And remember, write these down, pray over them. Just don't let yourself pass over them, especially if you find yourself in a position of burning out, or if you often find yourself in a position of burning out. And right now, you know that you're just coping and you need to get back to you, because you matter, sis. You matter, Black woman, and not because of what you are able to produce, not because of your utility, not because of the roles that you employ throughout society, or who you hold together or what you hold together. You matter because you do. You matter because you are. And that is enough. You are enough. And if this resonated with you, I would love for you to share it with another Black woman in your life who you know needs to hear it. And maybe you don't know. Maybe she is also masking right now. So how would you know if she is experiencing burnout? So matter of fact, just share this with the Black women that you know. And drop a comment, talk to me, tell me, where are you in your healing journey right now? I would love to know. And then I also want you to know that you are not alone. We are becoming together.